Alright, today is Monday, so it's time for another update from the DOTSAMA ecosystem. And yes, I am going to start calling it the DOTSAMA ecosystem now, because really we are talking about Polkadot and Kusama on these videos. And we're not only going to talk about Kusama, now we're talking mostly about Kusama because of course the action is on Kusama with these crowd loans. Everybody's watching them, everybody's keeping an eye out on what's going on, what's the action, what should we bid on. People are watching some of my videos, so I thank you very much for that. People are contributing using my referral link, so I'd like to thank you very much for that. It's awesome. We each get a share of that referral reward. So talking about the crowd loans, we've got 1 day and 15 hours left before the end of the sixth auction, which is the first auction on this second batch, and Kilt is of course going to be the winner. There's nobody else that's going to beat Kilt. And then on Wednesday we should be able to start the seventh auction, and I really think that Calamari is going to get it, but the snake could bite. The snake could bite, and the snake has bitten Bifrost once, but Bifrost was fast enough to freeze the snake. He used the Thor hammer, it slammed the snake right in the head, and it stopped it in its path. But it was very close. The venom was getting to him because on the second day, Bifrost did suffer, right? Basilisk took the lead, and Basilisk blocks were winning while the auction was running. And actually, Bifrost was a winner by a fluke. We're talking like a number of blocks that day when Basilisk was in the lead. We're talking about like, I think it was like 2 or 3 hours before Basilisk was in the lead. That was basically one of those blocks from like 2 or 3 hours before was announced as the winning block for the fifth parachain auction. So I am afraid that Calamari may suffer the same fate, but no biggie, because even if Basilisk win it by fluke, then I do strongly believe that Calamari will take the 8th auction. But so far it's not looking like Basilisk is going to get another 60k give or take, 65k give or take in KSM in order to beat Calamari, unless Dan Reeser starts massively tweeting about it. But nevertheless, I want both Basilisk and Calamari to win. I have contributed to both, and of course Calamari is my top favorite in this one because I am going to get more rewards for Calamari, but I will also get some rewards for Basilisk and also for Altair. So these are the ones that I'm really bullish on. Of course, Kintsugi too. There is actually a referral link to Kintsugi if you are interested to contribute to that. But I do feel that Kintsugi may actually struggle to get a slot in this specific batch. I think that they're going to need to wait for the third batch, simply because we've got Parallel Heiko here with 34k. Altair is with 42k, so then there's going to be a bit of a battle between these two. But even if there will be a battle between these two, then we know that one of these is going to win the fourth, and then the fifth auction is likely going to be won by the next one in the queue, unless some massive contributions happen for any of these and shock everyone here, right? We've got this one here, Picasso, which I haven't even heard of. This is a new one that just popped out of nowhere. With 4.2k. Integrity is struggling here, as we can see down at the bottom. Mars, nobody talks about. Subgame, nobody talks about. Cross Shadow, I've been in this in the first batch. They've also struggled, so I don't know how long they're gonna need before they're gonna finally connect. I know that they're really trying, they've got a good community, but it is what it is. Sakura seems like they don't really care anymore because Clover is doing wonders. They're on Coinbase, so it's like they're not really bothered anymore with their testnet, it seems. But yeah, they're not getting that many contributions. Maybe the reward is not so tempting. So yeah, I haven't personally looked into it. Robonomics, again, good team, but are struggling. They did give away that XRT for free in the first batch to those that have contributed, but have basically contributed and locked their KSM for the duration of the auctions, but did not get anything in the sense that because Robonomics didn't win. So that's why they wanted to be kind to the contributors and said, look, we're going to airdrop the XRT anyway. So this was actually the only project that did that, so kudos to them. But yeah, I don't know who Picasso is, but it seems they're getting quite a few contributions here, catching up to Sherpa X, who are actually the first to begin in these crowd loans. The team likely have contributed some KSM, of course, because they obviously want to win, but are struggling. So I just don't see this happening. And what's funny is that Kintsugi, who are basically doing the same thing as Sherpa X, we're talking about bridges between Bitcoin and Kusama. These are the Canary network of Interlay, are now actually surpassing, like they've surpassed Sherpa X by over 3k here, 4k. So yeah, I mean it's a bit of a battle. Almost 4k. Apparently Alexei has some new stuff coming up for the next few weeks or so. He said that he's got some updates coming up. So with those updates, perhaps if they're bullish updates, we could potentially see an over 20k contribution here for Kintsugi, pushing it above Polka Smith, putting Parallel Heiko in danger. And I'm not bullish on Parallel Heiko because they're backed by Alameda, which are the VCs. Only 2% is given to the community. It's an absolute embarrassment in my opinion, and that's why I'm never going to support something that only gives 2% to the crowd loans. You're basically looking for some people, for some sheep to contribute to your crowd loans so that you can get those VCs to dump on them when they list. So no thank you, no thank you. So yeah, I just don't see them winning, and people know that. People know that this is being manipulated. People that have done their research, they understand that Parallel Heiko is not one to get into. And again, they're not doing anything special at the end of the day, not trying to FUD here, but all they're doing is DeFi. Once again, the same as Karura, the same as Bifrost, nothing special. Nothing that sets them apart. The only thing that sets them apart, and the reason why they got this huge contribution, is their backers. Alameda, they likely have a lot of money, so they thought, okay, let's push up this these contributions to generate FOMO so people can contribute more, but it just didn't work out for them. So you could see the really solid community projects are the ones getting the support here. Again, Kilt has been getting a lot of support too because everyone's talking about Kilt, but again, the same issue as with Parallel Heiko, 3% instead of 2, but they are getting more marketing, right? So we got to give kudos to them. They are at least a strong technical project in that sense. So I'm not FUDding Kilt here. I do think they're a solid project. I'm just FUDding the 3% contribution to the crowd loans. So that's the only thing that I'm a bit annoyed about. Sorry, not contribution, allocation, I should say, because the contribution is what you contribute to. The allocation is what they've got to give you. So yes, these three are the ones that are likely going to do really well and are likely going to win, and that I'm personally supporting a lot, right? We've got Calamari, Basilisk, and Altair, and then of course I'm supporting Kintsugi as well because they're supported by Parity Technologies, and we need a bridge. We need a bridge between Bitcoin and Kusama, of course. But enough about that. And again, just a kind reminder, if you want to contribute to Calamari or to Altair, you can find, or to Kintsugi, you can find links in the description of this video, even though there's a warning up at the top of the page saying that you should not contribute because they're on pause until this auction ends. You can still do so. They cannot stop you from contributing. Okay, you're also helping them at the end of the day because they are going to have to unlock the next tranche here, which is between 100k and 200k. Now it's not officially unlocked yet, but they will have to unlock it. So don't worry, you will still get your rewards. You will still get the referral bonus of 2.5%. And if you are one of the early contributors to Calamari and you've got a 5% or a 10% bonus, you can still use that bonus to your advantage, right? Because you're one of the early contributors. Maybe you didn't have enough KSM back then. Maybe you only pushed the minimum, like 0.1 KSM, just to lock in that bonus. If you knew about it, again, we didn't actually know about this. This was a surprise to me as well. I only discovered this like I think it was a couple of days ago, or I think it was last week when, yeah, it was last week when early last week when he announced that anyone who has contributed within the first 500 got a permanent 10% bonus, and anyone contributed between 500 and 1000 got the permanent 5% bonus. So now every time you add on to that contribution until the moment they win, you will keep getting that bonus, and then on top of that bonus you also get a 2.5% referral bonus if you use my link below. So how awesome is that? And that's why people are contributing to Calamari. So yes, please do use my referral link if you didn't already contribute. Again, ignore the warning at the top. You can contribute, nothing stopping you from contributing. So thank you for that. But today what I really want to talk about is Shiden Network. Shiden Network, because they've got some major news. Now the price is not doing too well, unfortunately, here, struggling at 530. As you can see, we had a bit of a pop to 560. We had these nice pops yesterday. We had these wicks. You could see that there was a lot of buying activity here. Either somebody knew something in advance, so they just scooped up, or so there may be something coming up, and maybe this was the reason for these wicks here. You could see there were multiple large buys here from a whale, likely, right? And they tried to just accumulate a lot for whatever reason. And then We've got this pullback here, which is the consolidation, but we are consolidating around this area. So unless we go below it, unless there's going to be a massive sell-off, which I just don't see happening, I don't realistically see anybody selling 36K to take us below 5 anytime soon. Now, it could happen if Bitcoin dumps, of course, but if Bitcoin remains at 51K, whatever it is at now, I don't see this happening, right? So we're likely going to break above this. And we're more likely going to see 570 to 580 here, maybe even more with this bullish news, and we'll talk about this today. Again, this is the average price, and oh yeah, and they also got listed on Hotbit today. It's a small exchange, right? But it's something, it's extra liquidity. But this is the big news right here. This is why I'm even more bullish now on Shiden Network. But before we get in, I just like to take a moment to thank today's channel sponsor, BitSwap for sponsoring this video. So let's watch this short clip, and then we'll continue on and talk about the $13 million fund for Altair and Shiden. Thank you.
BitSwap is the hottest new way to trade tokens. Crawling all the top decentralized exchanges, BitSwap will get you the very best price and value for your trades. BitSwap is changing the game. Try it now at bitswapdex.com.
Because I was complaining a little bit about their marketing, but now they're really stepping up their game, and we're going to see integrations with Shiden very soon as well. I think because of this $30 million Altair and Shiden ecosystem growth fund, and this is what I want to read in today's video. So today they're thrilled to announce the launch of this $30 million fund. And they're saying that in 2021 July, Shiden became a parachain. We already know that. They've successfully enabled token transfers and smart contracts on the 30th of August. Altair Network and Shiden Network support the Ethereum VM, WebAssembly, and Layer 2 protocols on Polkadot and Kusama retrospectively. And what's interesting here is that Moonriver only support the Ethereum VM virtual machine, and that's why we're seeing all these integrations from all these dexes from Ethereum going to Moonriver. So these same dexes could also go to Shiden Network, and aside from that, more dexes could go to Shiden Network because they're about the cross-chain. They've got the WebAssembly and Layer 2 protocols, which is basically for the multi-chain smart contract hub. So that's why the tech for Altair is better. Now again, I am actually a bigger holder of Moonriver, so I'm not trying to FUD Moonriver, but the tech, we have to talk about the realistic scenario here, which is right in front of us. The tech is speaking for itself. They may have struggled with marketing, but the tech is speaking for itself. And now that they've got the funding, they're likely going to hire more devs. They're likely going to hire possibly some marketing person, we don't know, and maybe they're just gonna invest more into the ecosystem growth as a whole, right? We may actually see them invest in projects, wanting to, or attracting projects with various ways to develop on Shiden and Altair as well, not only on Shiden. So yes, you could see dApps coming from Cosmos, coming from Binance Smart Chain, etc. And they could all go to Altair or to Shiden, right? So that's awesome. So let's talk a little bit about this article to understand more, okay? So supporting smart contracts has always been the most important milestone for us. What makes Altair and Shiden unique is that the platform supports both Ethereum virtual machine and WebAssembly, allowing people to deploy both Solidity contracts and Ink, which is WASM contracts, directly into their ecosystem. The Altair Shiden Ecosystem Growth Fund was set up to expand the Altair ecosystem by supporting projects with economic incentives. Growth Fund will be used to achieve the following. So, financial support for the participants of the Builders Program, grants for infrastructure projects and proven projects, dApps taken for application projects, growth support, hackathons, challenges, builder events, campaigns exchanges, V6 sourcing for promising projects, okay, and seed funding. Now, dApps staking is the system to distribute basic income to developers on Altair Network, Shiden Network. By building a product on Altair or Shiden, developers can earn native tokens from block rewards based on their performance and decentralized voting. So I think this is where the 10% annual inflation goes to, and this is again a share of that 10%. Okay, and here you could see we've committed up to 6% of Shiden's total supply of Genesis, which is 30 million at the time of writing, for this long-term fund to continually grow and support the ecosystem over the next 2 to 3 years. Okay, so they've actually committed a 6% of the supply just for this funding, right, to support developers. And this is great because now we're going to see more dApps building on Altair and Shiden, thus generate the growth, and thus generate the growth in the price, of course. So yes, if you are building on Altair Shiden and are interested in getting financial support, the Builders Program is for you. Learn more about the program here. So yes, if you are a developer, especially if you have some knowledge on Substrate, you can join the Builders Program and get funding from the Shiden team here, Shiden and Altair team. And you can scale your dApp as well with Polygon. So that's awesome, right? You can use Polygon as well, and then you can migrate Polygon over to Shiden to bring it over to Kusama. So absolutely amazing, because we know there's a lot of hype with Polygon right now, right? Polygon is definitely in the news now, which is the old Matic. They've rebranded to Polygon, building on top of Ethereum. So now they've created that kind of network where transactions are cheap because you can pay with Matic. So yeah, awesome stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to do this quick video in today's video and just kind of talk about this information. But yeah, I just wanted to quickly cover this information because I really think this is important to understand how Shiden and Altair works and how they're going to be attracting more dApps. I hope you found this informative. That's been it. As always, drop me a comment below, and a kind reminder, don't forget to use my referral links below for a 2.5% bonus on Calamari, 5% bonus on Altair, and 5% bonus on Kintsugi if you do decide to support this channel. Thank you very much once again. I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye.